Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another stream. We're back in studio today. It's going to be the last time we're going to be in here for a week. Next week, I'm in LA. We'll have a different studio. We'll have a different setup. It might be different every single day. Who knows? And I'm thinking about buying Starlink there so I can stream wherever I want, right? My ideal scenario is I live stream via Starlink in the middle of the forest or near the ocean or whatever it is. We'll pick some cool landscapes and we'll do it from there. Okay, so we got a lot to cover today. We're covering Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, the economy, and then overtime. And there's a ton of stuff in overtime that I want to cover. Today we're going a little bit early for two reasons. One, I have to go back to HotepCon. I have to drive there. There's an event tonight, a barbecue, dinner kind of thing that I'll be joining. And then in addition to that, I'm flying to LA tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting. Going to have an interesting week in LA. Shout out to my nephew again, Josh. Happy birthday. We're going there for that. All right. So let's get right into it now. Okay. So the first thing I want to cover is Elon Musk. Okay. Let me bring this over here so we can cover this. It says, Roz Alert says, breaking, Elon Musk has just confirmed that he will be attending Donald Trump's upcoming rally in Butler, Pennsylvania this Saturday. All right. So we have Elon Musk joining Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Now, I will say this. The security better be tight. I mean, extremely, extremely tight at this event, because that's going to be rough if it's not. So where are we looking at in the event? I was just asked my producer when it was. Its doors will open at 10 a.m. with Trump to speak at 5 p.m. What is the date, though, the actual date? That says what time it is, but is there an actual date? I think it's Saturday, yeah. But, huh? Yeah, so I think it's tomorrow that they're actually going to be doing this event. But this is a big deal because if you're on X at all, Elon Musk is the most active political operative in the Republican kind of side of things, all right? Besides maybe Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's pretty active. Yeah, so it's tomorrow at 5 p.m. they're saying, or 10 a.m.?
5. Speak at 5.
Speak at 5 p.m. So that's going to be really big. And the other thing that's kind of interesting now, which is getting very political between both sides, is you see all this money that's going over to Ukraine. You see all this money that's going over to all sorts of countries. I think I even have a tweet that shows like a breakdown of all the countries we're sending billions and billions of dollars to. And then, you know, similar to the Hawaii situation, which I went through before, you see places like North Carolina, different places within the Midwest, they're not being attended to at all. All right. And Musk has Starlink. Okay. And he could take a look at all the stuff that's going on. a lot of people don't have internet there, and they're saying that they're blocking him from sending a lot of resources there so that those people can get connected to the internet again and go back to normal, which is really interesting. Sounds pretty political, okay? Now, a lot of that stuff can be fact-checked, but when this is coming from Elon Musk himself, gets kind of interesting there, okay? I think the facts are on his side, if he's part of whatever's going on. Here's another post on that. Elon Musk to join Trump's Saturday rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. And if you remember, Butler, Pennsylvania is the same place where that first assassination on Trump was, where they got him in the ear there. And, the rest is history. There's been multiple attempts since then. Here's more on that. Elon Musk, incoming Doge Commissioner, Department of Government Efficiency, will join Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow in a major show of support with a sledgehammer to government waste. Musk's philosophy will be ruthless. Delete any part or process you can. You may have to add them back later. In fact, if you do not end up adding back at least 10% of them, then you didn't delete enough, okay? So basically what he's trying to say is like eliminate a bunch of stuff, and then if we have to bring it back later, then that's a better problem to have.
And you know what I'm going to let Elon do? Unless you people disagree, I'm going to get Elon, and he's great at this. He's going to be our cost cutter. I think he can save trillions, right? He wants to do it so badly. I don't think I can get him full time because he's a little bit busy sending rockets up and all the things he does. But he's so much into that. He said the waste in this country is crazy, and we're going to get Elon Musk to be our cost cutter. He's going to do it for zero. He doesn't want anything. But he wants to see this country be great, and he'll do it. And having his endorsement is a great endorsement.
Now, if I wanted to catch Trump on there, it's like a Freudian slip. He was about to say company. Instead, he said country. Let's see what else. We don't want that. Elon Musk. Okay, cool. So Elon is getting very active. He's getting very, very active. And here is more on that. Take a look at this. Something is happening in Pennsylvania, swing states, 19 electoral votes. Trump now has a 4% lead in the Pennsylvania's odds. And Pennsylvania is a key swing state. So that's a very important thing to track. And here's Elon Musk. I have been focusing heavily on Pennsylvania. I've been saying this, okay? Do I think it's tough? Do I think Musk is a net positive? Yes, I do. And obviously the innovation, the technology, I love all that stuff. But when he entered the realm of politics, I don't know. I don't know what to say because he is putting his finger on the algorithm, as I've said many times before. Because it's just kind of like if he's focusing really hard on Pennsylvania, well, are you doing anything with the algorithm? I don't think he is doing that. But we could fact check him. Let's take a look. He should be able to be very transparent with that stuff. He had a lot of released the Twitter files and all that stuff when he took over, and they found a lot of stuff with Jack Dorsey and a bunch of the other people that were involved with that. But the fact that he's saying stuff like this, I've been focusing heavily on Pennsylvania. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I feel very weird about it. Imagine the outrage if Jack Dorsey said this in 2000. Okay, and then someone else says back, the issue with Twitter 1.0 wasn't individual private citizens' involvement in politics. That's fully permissible and encouraged. The problem was the use of the platform to suppress information and silence accounts based on political affiliation. Elon using his own personal time to help causes he cares about and voicing his own personal opinions are not issues. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that. Okay, it's not that he's just using his personal time. He also has the biggest voice on X, and also like the most people follow him there. Like, in fact, when you sign up for Twitter or X, or I'm going to call it X from now on. When you sign up for X, there are suggested people to follow in the beginning. He's like one of the first ones there. Okay, so most of the people that are going to join X are going to follow Elon Musk, and he's a great follow, very entertaining follow. But if you want to be objective, if you want to be honest, I totally get any Democrat who has a problem with this. I totally get it. When you have Trump and Elon doing that stuff. Now, I also totally get any Republican in the last election that had a problem with Mark Zuckerberg or with Jack Dorsey or with who's the other big ones? I guess that's the only big ones because that's Instagram. And then YouTube as well. I forgot who the CEO of YouTube is. And so I totally see the problem with that. And the thing is, there might not be suppression of voices, but there might be a amplification of certain other voices just by the nature of who owns this platform. Okay. Now, he did buy this platform. It is a private company and all that stuff. You can make those arguments. But it is, if you want this to be the town square and all that stuff, I don't know. I guess it's fine, but I don't know. I feel uncomfortable about it. Let me know what you guys think about him being very active with all of this different stuff. Now, there was a report that was that came out recently that essentially there's a report that came out recently that essentially said that Jamie Dimon was supporting Trump. Okay, and it looks like that is not the case, all right? JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has not endorsed anyone for president after Donald Trump claimed Dimon had endorsed him per CNBC, okay? So I want to see what goes on with that, whether that's true or not. But Jamie Dimon, a lot of crypto people are not a big fan of him, but because of the nature of him, like just working in a, he's a capitalist, obviously. He wants to make money. There are going to be some intersections where it does make sense, where a Bitcoiner or someone in the crypto community would agree with him on some stuff, but he's been trying to kill crypto for a long time, call it a scam and a fraud and all that stuff. All right. More on endorsements for Trump. Now, I talked about old Hollywood. Talk about an irrelevant actor, Bill Murray. Wow. Bill Murray said a vote for Trump is a vote against the swamp.
He's just such a different character than any.
Let me play this. This is as good as a Julia Roberts, George Clooney, Bryan Cranston. I mean, this endorsement means nothing, but it's interesting that old Hollywood is endorsing him. And I haven't seen Bill Murray in one movie, so I would imagine he doesn't really care.
He's just such a different character than anyone that's ever been a president of the United States, I think. I think this is what this vote means, is that the country is dissatisfied with the way that Washington has worked for the last couple of decades. They're lazy and they're about inhibiting the other side. They're not about working together at all. And it's sort of become such a national disgrace, a quiet national disgrace. He's just such a different character than anyone.
Okay, so interesting stuff coming from Bill Murray, but does it matter at all? No, it doesn't matter. Bill Murray is not gonna, no one's gonna sway their vote because of Bill Murray. No one's gonna sway their vote because of Julia Roberts. No one's gonna, they will sway their vote for Lady Gaga's dad. That's the only person that I would say. Lady Gaga's dad is really important, all right, in this race. All right, let's go to Trump. It's kind of a smooth transition into that. Here's Trump saying, they just asked if he's worried about losing voters due to Hurricane Helene, and his answer was beautiful. Let's take a look.
Say it. I'm not thinking about voters right now. I'm thinking about lives. And to be honest, it's much bigger than anything else. But we're thinking about lives, a lot of lives lost, a lot of people missing. And that's what I'd be focused on right now.
Okay, it's interesting. Now,
about voters?
The answer is good. I mean, obviously, it's a political answer. But I have to say this. I just like, authenticity, being real, being all that stuff. Like, okay, you're saying you're caring about the people, but there's a photo op with Huggies in the background. You have Pampers there. You have water bottles. You have Chick-fil-A. I mean, come on. It's just like, just do the press conference. You don't need to have the whole thing as a show in the background. But, it's great. He's on the ground there. I don't want to criticize him too much for that. All right. Let's take a look. We'll cover the election polling in a little bit. Let me come back to that. Excuse me. Bless me. All right. I think that's actually, I didn't have too much on Trump. Actually, let me refresh this really quick to make sure. Okay. I think we're good on that. Trump will come up in some of the Kamala-related things. Let's actually move to Kamala because this one's a little bit of the same, just covering basically the same kind of topics. But let's cover here what's going on with Kamala and Joe Biden, because this is the thing, right? The Kamala-Joe Biden thing is getting very testy. And the reason why is because Biden is an absolute disaster, and the way he's responding is an absolute disaster. And there is definitely tension between Kamala and Joe Biden. And what Kamala will say is like, oh, this is what I did as vice president. But they're like, no, Biden's presidency was a disaster. And she's like, well, I'm not Joe Biden. And they're like, okay, then what record are you really standing on then if you don't want to associate yourself with Joe Biden? So this is the interesting thing that's going to be very interesting to see play out over the next couple of days. Getting a tattoo of Lady Gaga's dad's face on my lower back. He's my hero. Yeah, and that's a good decision right there. Okay, now that's a good permanent decision. Getting a tattoo of Lady Gaga's dad, that's a good decision. All right. Vaughn says, bless you. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you very much. Now, here's a very, very interesting dilemma that Kamala Harris is in. And smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right. We're doing a little bit earlier today, but we still got a great show. Okay. So here's the interesting thing. So I've been talking about old Hollywood versus new media. So old Hollywood, the Bryan Cranston, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, these kinds of Oprah Winfrey, these kinds of people, right? And then you have the new media, which Trump has been on, Aiden Ross, Logan Paul, Lex Friedman, those kinds of Theo Vaughn, those kinds of things, right? So here's the interesting piece, okay? Now, we just saw an endorsement from Bill Murray, who is also old Hollywood. But what I think is an interesting thing to kind of take a look at is I was like, Kamala Harris, why? So Mark Cuban was on Theo Vaughn's podcast, and Theo Vaughn's like, yo, I had Trump on. If you have connections with Kamala and you talk to her 3-4 times a week, why doesn't she join my podcast? Okay. And he's like, I'll put in a good word. So I was, I even said on stream, I was like, Kamala Harris needs to go on new media. Okay. Now here's the thing. Maybe she's listening to the show. Maybe, other people are telling her the same thing, but she decided to do that, but the timing couldn't have been worse, right? There's the war, all the wars that are going on, and then the hurricane is an absolute disaster. So she has agreed to go on Call Her Daddy. Okay, Kamala reportedly taped an episode of Call Her Daddy, a podcast on women's sexual relationships, 2 days ago, as hurricane disaster recovery was ongoing with bodies being found left and right. This should be career ending. No, I don't think it should be career ending, but it's not going to have the impact that you want it to have. Okay, this is a good move generally. Okay. Because I think there's a lot of crossover here. There's more female voters for Kamala than there are for Trump. Okay, so this is a female hosted podcast. Obviously a good move. One of the top 1-2 podcasts at any given time. Top 5 for sure. And it's a good move, but is it going to come off the right way? She should have done this a month ago, right? When Trump was going on that circuit with all the other popular podcasts, she should have done it then. This is a little too late. It's 30 days before an election. If this doesn't come out right, it's going to be very bad for her. It's going to be a very bad look for her. So I would just put it out as soon as possible so that you have, I think we have like 30 days until the election. So you have 30 days to kind of wash it out. All right. Now take a look at this. There's some body language analysis on Kamala Harris.
You? Yes.
Should they trust you?
Yes. I am not perfect, but I will tell you, I'm always going to put the needs of the people first.
I'm always going to put people first.
Right? I'm always going to put the needs of the people. That was some serious body languaging.
I'm always going to put you first. Always. Nope. I'm not. I'm not going to do that. Nope. I'm lying right now. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Because I thought that seemed very.
God, I know liars. That chick
and
is
when
a
she
liar.
was like, yes. Yes, I'm not perfect, but yes.
Yeah. Please, for the love of God, trust me. Trust me so I can have power, please.
Support our show by supporting our
Okay.
sponsors.
So very interesting stuff there. It's a lot of the stuff that, I would say, I see similar. I'm just trying to see here. There's a note of a breaking thing. 1 second. Say hello in the chat while I take a look at this really quickly. Okay. So it's basically Biden doing a press conference. So anyways, what I wanted to discuss here was basically politicians are unauthentic people. That's why you want to stick to the issues. You want to stick to the policies, all right? You don't want to get in a big fight with a friend or family member over a person, okay? Because every human, now I may be perfect. I may be 100% perfect. I've never said anything wrong in my life. I've never made a mistake in my life. I've never told a lie in my life. I've never sinned in my entire life. And every one of my streams gets anywhere from 50,000 to 3 million views, right? So I am perfect. But, for you in the audience, I want to try to relate to you guys there. Not everyone's like me, right? Not everybody is perfect like me. And so because of that, you have to know that humans are flawed, and you don't want to tie yourself to a politician, okay? You don't want to tie yourself to a person. Now, if they have an idea that lives outside of them, that's a good idea, then maybe take a look at that idea. But ideas are different than people. Okay, there was actually a quote on this. Smart people talk about ideas or something. What is it? Yeah, this is it. Great minds talk about ideas, average minds talk about events, and small minds talk about people. So when somebody is so triggered by Trump, they probably have a small mind. If somebody is so triggered by Kamala, they probably have a small mind. Now, I do a show on all this stuff, so a lot of this is obviously amplified when I'm speaking about this stuff. But that's something to keep in mind. If there's a person or a thing or that gets you so upset and takes over your entire life, maybe not the right thing. You want to talk about ideas, thoughts, and ways to implement things rather than talking about people. All right. So speaking of people that I'm triggered by, Biden on Kamala, we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws. She was a major player in everything we've done.
There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet. She helped pass all the laws that are being employed now. She was a major player in everything we've done, including passage of legislation which we were told we could never pass. And so she's been, and her staff is interlocked with mine in terms of all the things we're doing.
Oh my God. That's Biden? No, that is not Biden. That is Biden's brother wearing Biden's mask. Okay. It could be Jim Carrey as well. Okay. So this is very interesting. Now, as they're dealing with a lot of the stuff. So this section is, labeled Kamala, but it's Kamala, Joe Biden, plus all of the efforts to try to fix what's going on with the hurricane relief. All right. The rabbit hole says error 404, government efficiency not found. Secretary Pete Buttigieg, no one is shutting down the airspace and the FAA doesn't block legitimate rescue and recovery flights. If you're encountering a problem, give me a call. Elon Musk, there are hundreds of reports of FEMA FAA blocking flights. This literally just happened. I will follow you. Please DM me the number to call. Still waiting. The helicopter is trying to land to deliver critical supplies. What's the number to call? Okay, so this is Musk going right back at him. Hey, that's what you're saying? It's unfolding in real time. This is the difference between X and Instagram, X and LinkedIn, X and Facebook, X, and pretty much any other platform. Now, Threads, a lot of Instagram users are using Threads now. Now, it's going to be a lot more left-leaning, but Musk, says he's a libertarian. I don't know how much people are going to react to that, which I think is cool. Allow people to do what they need to do, right? Threads is also getting some real-time information, but what I realize about Threads versus X, they don't have a community notes. They need to add that. They need to have fact-checking that's unbiased, maybe using AI or whatnot to do that. But the most amazing thing, if you don't use X for your news, nothing you see is right, okay? You're not an informed person. If you don't use X for your news, you're not informed. I will say that definitively. You are not an informed person. Now, if you watch this show, you're very informed, all right? So you have that advantage because I get a lot of my news from here, and then I curate my news from all the stuff that I see. The reason why is, what other platform in the world can Pete Buttigieg say something, and then the world's richest man who has access to all the resources in the world and the satellites that can provide internet for this situation, that wants to help Trump with government efficiency, is saying stuff like this? How interesting is it that he wants to help with government efficiency, right? So he's like, if you even look at the timeline here, 1 hour ago, Buttigieg, 23 minutes ago, or 23 minutes after that, it would be 23 minutes when this was screenshotted. You had Elon Musk. So in less than an hour, you had that. And then 7 minutes after that, he's like, hey, I reached out. I didn't get any response. There's no other platform in the world that this can happen. By the way, you see the back and forth between Elon Musk and Mark Cuban, Elon Musk and Jason Calacanis, Elon Musk and all these other people, and all these AOC and different people. So it's so interesting to watch all this different stuff in real time. Joe Biden visits the White House briefing room for the first time in his presidency. Let's take a look. So this is him coming in. I haven't seen him do any of this. I don't even remember. Should fact check that? Let's see if this is the first time he's had it.
My name's Joe Biden.
Wait, hold on. What did he say?
My name's Joe Biden.
Welcome, Mr. President.
We've been waiting for you.
Welcome to the swimming pool.
Wait, hold on. There's no way that's real.
Hey, folks. My name's Joe Biden.
Welcome, Mr. President.
We've been waiting for you.
Welcome to the swimming pool.
Well, he says, hi, my name is Joe Biden. Welcome to the swimming pool. Okay. Now, you could say that's a cute old man making a joke, but I want to even see if that's true. All right. So let's take a look at this. More on the situation unfolding. Report: FEMA is blocking and seizing shipments, including Starlinks, in North Carolina as business leaders and locals are trying to save Hurricane Helene victims. The development comes as new FEMA whistleblowers allege FEMA withheld pre-disaster aid. Musk source: FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and locking them away to state they are their own. Volunteer: FEMA said they are too tied up at the border to send more representatives to North Carolina. Musk source 2: they are now about to shut down the airspace to regulate the private choppers we are riding in to deliver Starlink and supplies. We spoke with Ivanka Trump and handed out Starlinks with her yesterday, but FEMA then showed up and started blocking us. FEMA whistleblowers: FEMA has wasted taxpayer funds, misappropriated funds, and left other federal, state, and local responders without deployment orders on the ground. Laura Loomer source: people who are trained to do rescue missions with medvac helicopters have been given stand-down orders. They have been told by FEMA they can't use the helicopters to carry out deliveries. Now, if I wanted to read this in an unbiased way, what I could say is maybe that's potentially there's a lot of disaster going on and there's a lot of chaos going on around. The communication systems are down. So it might be tough to have the private and public things, we're intermingling with each other. I'm just giving them the benefit of doubt, but let's take a look at what this is saying here.
FEMA is tremendously prepared. This is what we do. This is what they do. And the key...
Notice what it says here, July, that this was being said.
Here, Rebecca, is also to make sure that the communities who are potentially impacted are prepared as well. And it's not just hurricanes and wildfires, also extreme heat, which certainly some parts of the United States are already experiencing.
Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas sounding the alarm on FEMA funding right after the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Listen.
We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We are expecting another hurricane hitting.
Guys.
We do not have the funds. FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season.
This all comes as the Biden-Harris administration spent over $1 billion from a FEMA program on services for migrants. Attorney General of the great state.
Okay, look, if you're not enraged at this point, by what is happening, this is the perfect example. North Carolina asks Zelensky for $100 billion in U.S. funding, okay? This is the only way that North Carolina can get money. They're like, yo, Zelensky, send some of those billies this way, we'll take care of you, all right? Just print the money, Cat Dog is saying, okay? Obviously not a Bitcoiner here, but very interesting stuff. This is where this has gotten, okay? Ukraine, we need 10 billion. All right, got it. Israel needs some money. Got it. Palestine, boom. Nigeria, boom. Taiwan, need some money? Boom. Anyone in Europe? Boom. You get some money. Who else needs money? Canada, Mexico? Well, who else needs money? You get the money. Everyone gets money. Everyone gets a car, as Oprah would say. Okay? The problem is, look at Hawaii. Look at North Carolina. They're getting a $700 check, $800 check. I mean, what's going on here? At a certain point, you have to be like, wait, why am I paying taxes? Why am I paying taxes? Now, here's something. Here's something to consider. Here's what I will grant to the government, okay? If you have no personal income taxes, let's say you roll out Trump's tariff policy, assume that it's good. Let's just assume that it's good. Yeah, there are ways you could do it that make it better, whatever. Okay, let's just assume that it's good, okay? So he does this tariff policy. Again, tariffs are taxes on foreign goods, all right? He puts off this tariff policy and he eliminates the income tax. He's like, we're taxing enough foreign goods into the US where you guys don't have to pay any income tax anymore. Cool, all right? So now if you're like, we want to fund different things in different parts of the world through the tariffs, you have more grace from me. You have more understanding from me. But if you're not taking care of people in North Carolina, if you're not taking care of people in Hawaii, and I'll even grant this, there are black people all across the country that have been saying they want reparations for a long time. Now, do I necessarily agree with that? No, I don't. I do think that there's a ton of bad stuff that's happened, but I think they have much more. They are deserving of that money much more than foreign aid and different things that are going on. Okay? Use that to invest in black-owned businesses, black startups, black schools, all those different things, versus this BS where we're sending money overseas for wars to which we know nothing about. Are we winning the war? Are we losing the war? Is it effective? Is money solving the problem? Is money solving the problem? Here's the thing. Money does not solve the problem. Just because you're sending money for aid doesn't mean the aid is being used in the way that you want it to. For example, why would Elon Musk say he wants to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency? The reason why is because the government isn't efficient. We could probably do all of what the government does for 10% of the cost. Okay? I gave you guys an example. I did this on my Instagram account where I said that there was these bushings that were used for, bushings are like screws or whatever, that were used for fighter pilots. And it was like $100 bag of bushings, and the government was paying $90,000 for a $100 bag of screws, essentially. Okay, how is that possible? How is that possible? Okay, so that's the reason why I'm saying it's just so crazy to think everyone can get what they want. I mean, if we didn't do all these foreign aid, maybe you get free healthcare, free education, reparations, no one pays income taxes. I mean, this is all possible if you don't have all this corruption, all right? Lemon Tool says, what countries are helping us in our time of disaster? Exactly. I don't know. Lemon Tool, welcome to the chat. I don't know of one that is doing that. I don't know of any that are doing that. The U.S., it's a blank check. Oh, you need money? Boom. You need money? Boom. You need money? Boom. Okay, hey, we'll need some money. No, oh, what? What'd you say? Oh, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. And not only that, if we start sending the check, they almost forget like we sent them that money. All right? So the America First message needs to be delivered by people outside of Trump. If Trump says America First, you know, people have already labeled him as a white supremacist, Christian nationalist, xenophobic, homophobic, whatever, right? But the American First thing is this, essentially. Why are we sending, this is the perfect way to explain America First. We're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, and we're sending no money to Hawaii. We're sending no money, essentially, to Hurricane. They've ran out of money. But how is it that, you know, Zelensky visits again and he gets another check? It doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't even know what's going on with the Zelensky, the Ukraine-Russia thing. The fact that I don't know and we're sending all this money is a big problem. I bet you that if you ask 90% of Americans would have no idea what's going on there. I have no clue at all what is going on between Russia and the Ukraine. I just know that they need more money and that both people are losing a lot of lives and nothing's really happening. We're sending more money. It's getting worse. There's no end in sight. So it's just like, what is really happening here? Okay. Shawshank in the chat, he says none. I thought the stream starts at 6. Yes, it does, but I have an event tonight that I have to go to. So we're starting a little bit early today. So I felt bad yesterday shutting it off in 30 minutes. I want to give you guys the full stream. Next week I'm in LA. I might change the time again, but you'll know in advance. If you want to know when the stream is, check my Instagram a few hours before the stream and you'll know exactly what it is. But you know what we'll do? Maybe we'll set up some thumbnails in advance. Can we change the thumbnail even if the stream is up for a future date? Yeah. So maybe we'll put up the thumbnails for the time and then we'll just flip the thumbnail. So the time, or we'll change the thumbnail, but we'll have it in there so you know what time it is next week. But thank you for asking. That means you watch the show all the time. That's a good problem to have. All right. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and Alejandro Mayorkas have put Americans last. Lost. That's a good misspeak right there. Calm before the storm. Feds say there's no money left for hurricanes after it spent $1.4 billion on immigrants. Okay? This is the stuff I'm talking about. Should we be a country of immigrants? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. I am here because I am children. I'm a child of immigrants, okay, that came to this country. All right? And came from like a crazy story, Armenian genocide to the Lebanon civil war, then to here. Okay, so it's a crazy path here. And America is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm so blessed to live here. Okay. And I love it, right? But if you treat people who aren't in this country better than the people that live in this country, I don't even know how this is even an argument. How is this even an argument? Okay. So the fact that we're still doing that, it just doesn't make any sense. Let's take a look at this. Did Mark Cuban tell a truth? Mark Cuban says the Biden-Harris administration's border policies were horrific and created cascading problems. Let's take a look.
The way they handled the border was horrific. There's no way to say it any differently.
Now, here's what I'll say. I'm going to take back a few things I said about Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is not all bad, okay? Here's what I'll say. Watch the Mark Cuban, Andrew Schultz interview, okay? It was a different side to him than you usually see. I think that he is actually probably a lot. If you watch his show, you probably like see things that the way I do, or at least you have a similar thing. Like you're looking for the truth. You don't like the BS. You don't like fake people. You call out fake people. Mark Cuban has that in him. It's just he hates Trump so much that he's playing the other side for no reason. But if you actually press him on the issues, and Andrew Schultz said a lot of things on there Akash was really good on that interview as well. Watch that interview, have a different perspective on him. But that opened my eyes to like, okay, what I thought of Mark, yeah, he sucked with the crypto stuff. He's off with some of the tech views that he has. Some of his politics is bad, but that's the thing. The long form interviews show you in a different light. They also expose you. Okay. They can actually make you look good, or they can expose you. For example, I didn't like Bernie Sanders at all until I saw him on Joe Rogan. Then I still didn't like him, but I was like, okay, I get what he's saying and I get where he's coming from. Similar to his, he was on Theo Vaughn's podcast and he was on Lex Friedman's podcast. You just see a different light. I still disagree with him completely, but I'm like, okay, I get where this guy is coming from. All right.
Now, I understand why they took the approach they did. Literally, if I were in a Central American country and my family was at risk of getting shotgunned because there's a drug war, I'm doing everything I can. And I recognize, that if I just set foot on American soil, I have a chance for asylum, and I get that.
Okay, I get that too, by the way. I get that. And there are people that, people don't even know the process. People are so poor and there are so many bad things going on. They don't even know the process and they can seek asylum. Now, with that being said, the average American, okay, what is the average salary for the poorest country in the world? Average salary for the poorest country in the world. Here's why this doesn't make any sense. Should we give people that are seeking asylum a spot to come here or a path to get here? Sure. But when do we stop? At 1 billion people? 2 billion people? Let me know what that says there, and I'll watch the rest of this.
And I get why Biden and his administration might say, just for humanitarian reasons, we're going to increase the number of people that we allow to do that. I understand why he would do it. But at the same time, he opened the door too wide. And he made it so that there were too many people that came through, and that created cascading problems.
Okay, everything he said there was spot on. If he continues to speak that way, he'll be very effective. And I think maybe that's why he's taking this long-form podcast approach. He's going on the circuit right now. Similar to how Elon Musk is like, I've been campaigning the most for Pennsylvania. I know where my nose is itching. There's fuzzies on this mic that gets my nose every time. So I'm going to move it back here a little bit. Or I got that Hunter Biden, you know what I'm saying? No, I don't have that. But anyways, so this was a very interesting thing. Do we have that? The average salary? Or do you want me to grok it really quick? What is the average salary of the poorest country in the world? I don't understand why this is hard, but let's take a look. Okay, let's see here. So Grok doesn't have something. Why isn't it showing? Do you have a number? No? Okay, let's see. $455. Okay. South Sudan is the poorest country in the world. By the way, I'm doing a live stream and my producer over here cannot search the easiest thing in the world. South Sudan is the poorest country in the world in 2024 with a GDP per person per capita of $455. Okay. Other countries among the poorest in the world include Burundi, which is 916. Central African Republican, 1,123. Let's see what else that we have here. Average income around the world. Let me go down to the bottom here.
$37 per month in Angola.
Okay, $37 per month in Angola. Okay, so interesting stuff, right? So like Angola has $37 per month. Now, if people in Angola, let's say, how many people are in Angola? That's easy if you can't get that one. If people in Angola one day were like, hey, we're going to the U.S., we're going to cross the border, we're going to get the free money. 34 million. Let's say 20 million people from Angola come to the United States. Should we accept them all? Okay, now how about from Armenia? How about from India? How about from China? How about from Afghanistan? How about from Brazil? How about from Argentina? How about from Chile? Like, do you see how this doesn't work? The math doesn't work. If you see this stuff during COVID, the hospitals and overrun, all that stuff. Okay, so how does this work? We can't even take care. Okay, so let me get this straight. You don't have enough money to take care of North Carolina, but you have enough money to take care of people from all sorts of countries all over the world coming into the United States. You see, this doesn't make any sense, all right? There's clearly corruption here, clearly politically motivated, and it doesn't make any sense. Speaking of corruption, Biden, just in White House briefing room descends into chaos as President Biden stands in front of shouting reporters, not knowing who to call on. Let's take a look. By the way, he has no idea what's happening.
All right, go ahead. Nandita, sir, no, sir, I didn't.
Okay. Oh my God. By the way, this is the sharpest Joe Biden we've ever seen. Okay. This was said this is the sharpest Joe Biden we've ever seen.
Calling you, sir. I didn't call you, Nandita. Thank you. Nandita, go.
There have obviously been a number of crises that the country has been facing over the past several days with the hurricane, with the port strike, with the situation in the Middle East. Can you talk about how your vice president, who is running for the presidency, has worked on these crises and what role she has played over the past several days?
Well, I'm in constant contact with her. She's aware we're singing from the same song sheet.
Okay, so that's more of singing from the same song sheet thing. All right, doesn't make any sense. All right, this is the leader of the free world right now. Here's more from Musk calling out the corrupt left. SpaceX engineers are trying to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to devastated areas in North Carolina right now, and FEMA is both failing to help and won't let others help. This is unconscionable. They just took this video a few hours ago where you can see the level of devastation. Roads, houses, electricity, water supply, and ground internet connections completely destroyed. FEMA wouldn't let them land to deliver critical supplies. My blood is boiling. Okay, let's take a look. So it looks pretty devastated all over the place. All right. Floods and everything. All right. We got Brandon in the chat. What's up, Brandon? He looked clapped. Yeah, definitely. You watched JD Vance's first post-debate interview. It was pretty interesting. No, I didn't. Why doesn't my producer, does it have to deal with this though? Okay. Yeah, so we just sent irrelevant. All right. So, no, thank you to my producer. He's doing a great job. All right. But let's stay on topic. Let's go here. Elon, FEMA is blocking citizens from helping people in trouble in North Carolina. So this is more from Elon. Just received this note from a SpaceX engineer helping on the ground in North Carolina. FEMA is not merely failing to adequately help people in trouble, but is actively blocking citizens who try to help. Hey, Elon, update here on site of Asheville, North Carolina. We have powered up 2 large operating bases for choppers to deliver goods into hands. We've deployed 300 plus Starlinks, and the outpour it has saved many lives. Now, this is insane, by the way. The big issue is FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and locking them away to state they are their own. It's very real and scary how much they have taken control to stop people helping. We are blocked now on the shipments of new Starlinks coming in until we get an escort from the fire department, but that may not be enough. Okay, so they're getting called out live here, which is really interesting. So we covered this one already. Let's go to this here. Actually, let's go to this one first. There's a bunch of clips here from Biden. Oh, I didn't even see this all. Great. We're going to go through all these Bidens. Biden reacts to Rubio calling job numbers fake. Let's take a look at this.
Thanks again for doing this, Mr. President. 2 questions. The first, Florida Senator Marco Rubio described today's jobs report as having fake numbers.
Okay, so if you can't hear that, Marco Rubio said that today's job numbers were fake numbers.
What do you make of that, and how worried are you that many Americans are hearing that the jobs numbers aren't real?
Well, look, I'm going to be very careful here. If you notice, anything the MAGA Republicans don't like, they call fake. Anything. The job numbers are...
Like fake Joe Biden. Is this the real Joe Biden?
Job numbers are. They're real. They're sincere. They're what we are.
Well, by the way, is math sincere? Just think about that. Is math sincere? Think about saying that's sincere math, okay? Now, the technical definition, what's a technical definition of sincere? It might be a technical definition, but it's a very weird way to describe numbers, is sincere. What is the technical definition of sincere? Let's take a look at that while I play the rest.
And by the way, just look at how the EU talks about us, how they like to have an economy like ours. Let's talk about the rest of the world looks at us and what we're doing. So
they're joining the BRICS nations. What are we talking about? Everybody's partnering with China now. Definition of sincere. All right. Free from pretense or deceit, proceeding from genuine feelings. Okay. A person saying what they genuinely feel or believe, not dishonest or hypocritical. All right. It's a weird way to describe numbers as sincere. All right. I would just say saying numbers are sincere is kind of a weird thing. All right. What else do we have here? We have more on the economy. Why don't we cover the J.D. Vance thing that you mentioned? Now is a good time for that. Let me go up there. Oh, J.D. Vance's first interview. Is this like a specific timestamp you want to go to?
I have them listed out in the
Timestamps. And specific times, right?
Oh, man.
Yeah, perfect. Wow. All right, I gave him crap. This is very, very well done. This is, by the way, guys.
Better argument. No question.
The producer's great. The producer's great. This is fantastic.
I thought you were done with the FEMA.
Okay.
I was like, this is interesting.
No, I was not done with the FEMA thing.
You went from FEMA to Musk.
Okay, let me cover the FEMA thing for the last piece, and then we'll go to the next section here. Work your whole life. Pay taxes. Obey the law. Lose your home in a hurricane. Get $750. Be a criminal in a foreign land. Illegally cross our border. Come here to terrorize and commit crimes against Americans. $5,000 debit card, free phone, mortgage assistance, and food stamps. Here's the problem with this. I agree with it, but why do you need this part? Why do you need the criminal part? That not everybody's a criminal. There's tons of people that aren't criminals. Most of the people are not criminals. Now, there are tons of criminals who have come in and, bad people like Venezuela has like unleashed a lot of its prison population into the United States. But like, you don't need that part. You just need be an immigrant from a foreign land, illegally cross our border, and that's it. And then get $5,000 debit card, free phone, mortgage assistance, food stamps. Here's the thing. This is the problem with the far-right MAGA Republicans. This is a very, very good example. This is a great example. You are demonizing people because you're not being precise with your words. I can make the same point by not be a criminal in a foreign land and terrorize and commit crimes. I can make the same point. Work your whole life, pay taxes, obey the law, lose your home in a hurricane, get $750. Be an illegal immigrant, and you get $5,000 debit card, free phone, mortgage assistance, food stamps. You see how that's more precise? If you're someone that's an undecided voter, or if you're someone on the left that's like, I cannot stand these progressive liberals anymore. These are the looniest people I've ever seen. This is such an easy way for you to push those people away by not being precise with this language. Because you know what's going to happen? See, this is what happens, guys, right? You go to work, or you go to a family function, or you go to a wedding, or you go to a birthday party, or you got the drinks with your friends, okay? And some of them are Republicans, some of them are Democrats, and this kind of stuff comes up, and they're like, oh, are you a far-right MAGA Republican, and you think every migrant is a criminal and a terrorist or whatever it is, right? That's not needed. Just give this example. $750 to hurricane victims, and then all of this free stuff to illegal immigrants. Okay? It's very simple. It's a very simple thing. You don't need this. You don't need to say all this extra stuff, right? Now, do I agree that they're criminal? Yeah, but you have to be precise with your words. Most of them are not. There are some criminals that are coming in. Now, when you're talking about 10, 20 million people, and, like, let's say even like 1% or 5% are criminals, that we're talking about big numbers now. Okay, now there is an issue there, and there are vulnerabilities there, but make the point precisely, and then make the other point in a different way. Treat those as two different things to cover there. All right, so let's go to this from J.D. Vance, an interview. I don't know what I'm seeing here, but my producer likes it, so let's take a look.
It was so much fun, and I was telling Josh this earlier on the boat, like, you don't really know when you're doing this because your adrenaline's going, you're trying not to say anything stupid. You don't actually know how it's going, really. Like, I felt pretty good about it.
Is the echo from them? I think it's from them. Yeah, they did a bad job recording this podcast.
But my wife comes out.
See, they have a bad producer, all right? We got to go. Look at their little set and whatever. By the way, our set is beautiful, by the way. How nice is our set? W in the chat if you like our set.
Very end, just sort of like this one final, segment for the TV cameras. Gwen Waltz comes up and my wife comes up, and I look at Usha's face, and I just knew. I was like, oh,
nice.
We must have done a very good job, because Usha doesn't lie to me,
yeah,
and her face especially doesn't lie to me, and I knew.
Now let me
that
say
minute.
this. Okay, let me say this. All right, you know that when you have a friend. All right, I'm not going to name any names. Maybe they're on here. Maybe they're in this room. Who knows? But you have a friend where they're like always like bitter and like they're just like, yeah, whatever, man, like whatever. And then all of a sudden, they go on a date with the girl, they kiss the girl, and then they have this like different swagger to them, right? They have like a different swagger, like, yo, what's up, man? They have like a little like, yo, what's good, man? What's good, what's good, what's good? And they have this swagger. They're like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna go buy some new shoes, or like they're saying stuff like, dude, what just happened? Oh, you have a girlfriend, you kissed the girl. Okay, got it. You're in love, all this stuff. This J.D. Vance is that J.D. Vance, okay? And the issue with this, and I called this, okay? If you watch the show, I called this. What did I say? There was a picture, maybe you could find me the picture, of Alina Habba and J.D. Vance. He has his arm around two women, two beautiful women, Trump's attorney, and there's another woman too. She might be like a congresswoman or something like that. I was like, he's not used to this kind of attention, and he's not used to having like beautiful women around him. He's not used to people giving him praise for different things. And here's the problem. He was like on Time magazine the other day. 48 laws of power do not outshine the master. Okay, now I don't believe that, but a Trump personality, absolutely, he believes that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. With the 48 laws of power, after I read it, I was like, what I understood it as, not to adopt the things. There are some parts of it which are really good, actually, which are like pretty like mild and stuff like that. But there's parts of it there's like, oh, dude, this is like narcissistic psychopath behavior with a lot of this stuff. What I actually noticed about it is like, I use it as a way to look inside someone's soul almost with that kind of stuff, all right? You look inside someone's soul. When you see that they're using those 48 laws of power, you're like, oh, that's what triggers that person, or he read that book and I can tell why he's saying X, Y, Z with certain things, right? And so that book reveals a lot of things about people once you know those kinds of things. But there is a 48 laws of power thing there. But the basic thing I'm saying here is this cocky Vance is cocky now. I've never seen him in this kind of outfit. He's like, this is the, let me wear my hat to the side kind of thing with the jacket. He's like speaking a little bit looser. He's like, man, I got a girlfriend now. I got all this stuff, He has a different swag to him. Trump is not going to like this. The more that Vance rises in popularity versus he's some fly on the wall, it's going to be an issue. And see how cocky he is right now? It's not going to be good. Not so sure Vance is into women. Oh my God. No comment there. All right. And if he isn't, I'm totally good with that, but you could have a point there. All right. Do you have the picture? No, it's okay then. Don't worry about it.
That we had a very good debate.
Nobody gives you authenticity like a wife, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
like he's never laughed and stuff in any kind of interview that I've seen before.
exactly right.
My question was, how does it feel to kill a man live on stage? Because you had to have known.
Ugh, that's not you, dude. That's not you. It's like, actually, I'm not going to give that example. Too soon.
I think the thing that was most impressive, I mean, look, a lot of us have done a lot of these things and debate preps and things like that. And it's one thing to have the right answers, which you did. And it's better when it's authentic, which it is.
No, it's not. It's not authentic.
The thing that is so impressive about what you did in that debate is you say you're nervous. You look so composed. Your tone, your tenor, the way you were delivering.
Oh, dude, what is this podcast? Tell me, what's this? Is it obviously a conservative podcast? Yeah, because this is like, man, brown nosing to the T right here.
It was like a man at total peace with what he was talking about.
A man at total peace?
And I think that conveys, right? I mean, it turns out there's over 50 million people watching the damn thing.
Yeah.
So
Which I'm glad I didn't know then.
yeah, seriously.
But I mean, so I definitely, again, I felt good about it. I think nerves are a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
You know, it's good to sort of
keeps you sharp.
Keeps you sharp, keeps you focused. That's fundamentally a good thing. But it's funny. We went into it, and I think they thought our strategy was just going to be to go after Walt. You know, for like. The military record, dishonest.
Oh, I just can't stand Vance. I don't know. Some people like him that are close. I just don't get it. I just don't see how you guys don't see right through him. It's the thing is, the difference between me and I think a lot of people that like Vance, that we might agree on a bunch of things. I've dealt with the Vance kind of archetype my entire career. I know this guy, okay? I could predict the things he's going to say. I could predict where he's going. That's why I was saying, notice, I mean, I literally called it with him having the two women around him and taking the picture. He's not used to this attention. People like this, when they rise in fame, they try to outshine that master. It becomes a huge problem. It's like, if Vance wasn't connected to Trump, no one would care what he's talking about. Let me give you an example. When Don Lemon is on CNN versus Don Lemon as an independent journalist, these are two different people. These are two different people, okay? These are not the same whatsoever. When he doesn't have the entire machine of CNN behind him, does anybody care what Don Lemon has to say? No, nobody cares what he has to say. Besides that one Elon Musk interview, which he did as like a publicity stunt, kudos to him for doing that. But ever since then, does anyone care what he has to say? No, because he's not behind the machine, okay? So similarly, let me give you another example. If you're part of the Joe Rogan universe, okay, Joe Rogan puts you onto his podcast, but then you snake him in a way. Like, I don't think Brendan Schaub necessarily did this, but Brendan Schaub is no longer in the Joe Rogan universe like he was before. Notice his podcast numbers, all right? Just take a look at his podcast numbers. Look at his reels. I'm outperforming him in my reels. If you look at my reels, you look at their reels, like a lot of mine are outperforming their reels right now. They used to be one of the top 5 comedy podcasts ever. Now, my views on my live streams, especially yesterday, pretty bad, okay? It's a little bit better today. That's why I had to be back in studio. I was like, I'm not going to do something remote. I need to get these numbies back, okay? Speaking of that, let's smash that like button. But once Brendan Schaub left that Joe Rogan universe and Joe Rogan went to Austin, you notice what happened to those numbers, right? So what JD Vance doesn't understand is that if he's not connected to Trump, no one cares what Vance has to say. No one cares at all. I mean, what are we talking about here? Who's a good example of this? Someone else connected to somebody, like in an election where, who was the vice president? I guess Joe Biden ran again then. But there's many examples within politics where somebody is connected to like a president, or they were the vice president or something like that. And once they stop their connection to those people, they no longer have the same popularity. We're going to say something? Pence is a great example. Hey.
Spectacular.
Guys,
give me 14 of them right now.
My producer, I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to roast you when you're bad. I'm going to give you credit when it's due. Pence is a great example. And that's actually the one I was trying to think about. So there you go. Pence is a great example. Pence is irrelevant. If Pence said anything to the Republican Party, people would just look like, did somebody say something? Did someone say something? Because can you tell this old man to leave? Did someone say something? Dick Cheney, when he says something, no one cares. Okay? So when you're not tied to the power base, the power system, you're no longer relevant. What you say no longer matters in a lot of ways. Okay? And that's what Pence has to watch out for. Like, here's another example. Who was Gary V's video guy? Gary V's, remember Frankie? Was it Frank? No, that's David Portnoy's. It was Gary V had like a old video, put Gary V old video guy. But no one knows of that guy now. Maybe he has a good career, but he's certainly not in my universe anymore. Maybe I could do the search really quick. Gary V old video guy. Caleb D-Rock. Okay. So D-Rock was Gary V's old video guy. All right. You'd be like, yo, D-Rock, capture this. And then Dave Portnoy used to have, I just said his name. What was it? Frankie. Okay. I did see Frankie in the Pizza Fest when Dave Portnoy did that Pizza Fest video or whatever. But like Frankie is out of the view of whatever is going on right now. Okay. So it's very interesting to see people, once they leave that power base, you could see a lot of that stuff. D-Rock has $1 million smile. Okay, there you go. I don't know what that's referring to, but cool. All right, so let's go back to here, and then I'm going to try to find that picture of J.D. Vance and Haba.
The thing that really stood out to us, we talked about it on our show earlier this week, is how much you listened to what Walz was saying. You know, so many of these people go into a debate and they get their canned lines and they try to deliver them and their mind is off. But you were so well.
Oh, that's not true at all. I could not disagree more. I could not disagree more with whatever was said there.
Prepared. You knew exactly what you were going to say about every single thing, that you were able to listen to him and interact with him in a way that I think stood out for a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I think when I go into these things, I try not to do the slogan thing. I try not to do the can line thing. I try to actually answer the questions, which in some cases, I think I probably try too hard to answer the question, especially when...
See, he's even self-owning himself.
It's like an unfair question, because sometimes you just got to say, that's a stupid question. Like, let's talk about things that the American people actually care about.
Particularly when the opposition, every question they're asked, they tell you about their growing up with streetlights and bicycles.
Hey, he's proud of that record of service.
You see how cocky he is? I'm telling you guys, I've said it since the beginning. This is going to be a problem. It's Pence 2.0. It's literally Pence 2.0. I'm telling you guys right now, I've dealt with this person so many times before. If you can't see it at this point and you watch the show, there's nothing I can do to help you there. All right? There's nothing I can do to help you there. Let's watch one more clip my producer gave me. By the way, these timestamps are fantastic.
One of the reasons why we wanted to do this in Michigan and we wanted to go fishing. Like, look, Michigan, incredibly important state, right? You spent a lot of time here.
Maybe the most important state.
It could be.
It's up there.
See? Like, just statements like that. Of course, it's a swing state.
Could be, but there's a ton of sportsmen here.
Yeah.
Hunting, fishing. This has been a group that historically has huge amounts of people who have hunting licenses and fishing licenses who don't vote. And so we wanted to have an opportunity for you to do what you do, because you grew up fishing. And you grew up with this kind
of... grew up fishing, okay? This is the kind of stuff that just so cringe.
Of culture and understanding the culture of people who own guns and people who go fishing and things like that. And I just think,
So it goes back to that thing. Why are we speaking about people? We want to speak about ideas and we want to speak about policies. And how can you execute? That's why, see, the difference between, this is a perfect example. Okay? The difference between Vance and Elon Musk. This is the difference between Vance and Elon Musk, okay? Musk, he's reaching out to Buttigieg. Hey, Buttigieg, we want to put Starlink on the floor, on the ground in North Carolina. Buttigieg, give me your number so we can go fix that problem. Buttigieg, here's what's going on with transportation. We need to fix this and this and this. We're trying to get supplies over here. The question to Vance. Vance, What do you think about people talking about people who fish? Okay. What do you think about people that fish? Do you think that those people should vote? Fishing people? Just like, this is the difference. And this, I live in the business world. You got to get stuff done. All right. You got to get stuff done efficiently or else you're out. You're done. Vance lives in the world of politics. Okay. Where you get softball questions like, I know that you like fishing. How do we get more fishers to vote? Okay. Like, what are we talking about?
Like, we had a blast today, and it was super authentic. Yeah. And you probably don't get a ton of that opportunity.
Hold on. We had a blast today, and it was super authentic. I've never spoken to somebody and be like, dude, this conversation was so great, and it's super authentic, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I mean, it's one thing
Look how he's sitting. Look how he's sitting. Okay? Look how he is sitting. This will tell you everything you need to know to why the Trump-Vance experiment is going to end very poorly. If I was Trump, and yeah, you could say it's nepotism, all that stuff, I would have probably picked one of his sons. That's what I would have done. Because the sons know within the Trump organizations, Daddy Trump, and then it's us, right? Maybe it's Ivanka that he chose. Maybe it's Don Jr., whatever it is. Barron Trump, too young, but yeah.
I love being out on the campaign trail, but you do get precious few opportunities to interact with like real human beings, right? And we're talking with Joe from the Safari Club, and of course, the folks who actually were running the charter company that took us out today, and just hearing about the challenges of their business, like, oh, fuel goes up by a huge amount, and now all of a sudden a fishing charter that would have cost $500 now costs $1,200. Like, that crushes their business, and it's of course great to be able to hear those stories, but just on the fishermen, on the games and
oh man,
like issue, like I think something people don't fully appreciate is, especially far lefties who pretend to care about the environment, is they assume that these guys just want to take from the environment. Right? They want to kill every animal, they want to get every fish out of the lake, and they want to take them home, and they don't think about conservation, when in reality, the people who are hunting and fishing, they care the most about conservation.
God, I just can't. I can't. Vance, I like Waltz more than Vance. I like Waltz more than Vance. Waltz 2024. Waltz. I want Waltz to be president. Tim Waltz for presidency. I love Tim Waltz. Waltz, why did you lose that debate? Now I have to see cocky Vance. The only thing worse than JD Vance is cocky JD Vance, okay? I cannot stand him. He needs to have the biggest gaffe in the world. I want him to fall on his face or something to happen, not violently, not any of that stuff. Just a little trip, he's fine, and all that stuff, okay? But I cannot understand. And they're saying, LOL, bro, your disgust for Vance is so authentic. Thank you very much.
Spectacular. Okay. Give me 14 of them right
Thank you. I have the best chat in the world. You guys are amazing. It is authentic, okay? Crazy eyes, LOL. Okay, Tim Waltz is a beast, okay? Who doesn't want a teacher? Who doesn't want a football coach, all right? Let me do my Waltz impression right now, okay? It sucks, okay? And I agree that JD Vance's beard means toxic masculinity, all right? This toxic masculinity piece of garbage here with Vance, I just can't stand him, all right? There's nothing worse as a politician than cocky JD Vance, okay? There is nothing worse than cocky JD Vance. Let's, we got a couple more clips from this podcast.
Because you'd mentioned earlier how much your life changes after President Trump picked.
The last one, not this one? Okay. Okay, look at this one, same interview. Okay.
So I did feel pretty good about it. The one thing I didn't realize, this thing that's gone super viral of me kind of doing the Jim from The Office thing, like looking into the camera.
That's what I think.
Guys, do you understand? When was he speaking like this? The Jim from The Office kind of thing?
He's like, you have to have known, like,
I've never seen this, by the way. He's just sending me these clips. I'm reacting live. This is insane.
How easy this is?
But it's because, I wish I could take credit for it, but it's because
it's like the guy who like makes one basket and he's like, guys, get back on defense. Everyone got back. He made one layup the entire season, okay? They moved him up from JV because his dad gave money to the Boosters Club. He makes one layup and he's like, guys, He's backpedaling like this. He's like, guys, get back on defense. Get back on defense. All right. And they're just like, dude, you played 1 minute, 30 seconds in garbage time and we're up by 40. All right. Relax. Relax. This is JD Vance. Okay. If you don't see this, I don't know what to tell you.
The timer is right by the camera. So I was just, I was trying to pay attention to what he's saying, but then you have to be ready for when his time's up because then it's your turn to speak. And so I was looking at the timer to figure out I was about to speak.
Amazing.
I know. But it spawned a million viral memes, so I'm glad they did it like that.
I think I saw
a
you
million
give
viral memes. You think Trump's going to like that?
Smug a similar look when he walked up with the frozen fish.
We know that came out the freezer.
The first thing that comes to mind when I see this is authenticity. What did I say about the beginning of the live stream when Trump was in front of the paper towels, the Huggies, the Pampers, the Chick-fil-A? He's a normal guy just like you. He likes fishing. He likes fishing. He likes hunting. He likes being by the campfire with the guys, smoking cigars and some whiskey. This is my kind of guy. JD Vance is a guy just like me.
Full broken fourth wall. Oh, man. I think the thing that was most impressive, a lot of us have done a lot of these things in debate preps and things like that. And it's one thing to have the right answers, which you do. And it's better when it's authentic, which it is.
Okay, yeah. So we covered a lot more of that. But, man, it's just cringe to the max. You posted something else. This is the podcast? Oh, okay. Got it.
Keep going to the other one.
To the other one?
Yeah.
To the...
I don't know if you covered this.
Let's cover this one then.
We're honest. You were like, Tim, you had a hard job tonight.
That was
right? Because they're trying to pull this magic trick where she's the change agent candidate.
That's right.
And not the current vice president of the United States. And, you have...
Okay, so you guys might have not noticed that. Let me just go back 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I just noticed very little nuanced things. But let me zoom into him here, okay? When he says something, the other guy, he does a head nod that explains everything. This is what I'm saying. I noticed these things, okay? This head nod here is everything you need to know. Ready?
And, you have the last 4 years of Donald Trump being president of the United States you can point to as a record of success. So, yeah, it was a little tough.
No, it's a little bit earlier. Hold on. Let's go to 1029.
That was
right, because they're trying to pull this magic trick where she's the change agent candidate.
That's right.
And not the current vice president of the United States. And
you see that he does this thing with his eyes. Okay, this is him in the pocket right now. The way he's sitting, the way he's relaxed, all these things. Now, I'm not saying that this is necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay, if he was the president, if he was running for president, this isn't a bad thing. Okay, where it becomes a bad thing is Trump made a terrible decision in choosing Vance because he is rising in his cockiness. Okay, he's rising in his arrogance. He's rising in his inflated view of himself. Do you think that when he's vice president, this is going to get better or worse? And if it gets worse, what do you think Trump's going to do? Bad boy. Bad boy. Don't talk. Bad boy. Don't talk. Don't talk, Vance. Bad boy. And when he does something like that, and he has an inflated view of himself, everybody loves him. Everywhere he goes, yo, what's up, Vance? Vance, you the man, Vance. Yo, Vance, what's going on? Okay, what do you think is going to happen then when Trump slaps him in the hand or talks bad about him publicly? You think it's going to end well for him? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. He's going to have a vindictive beta response to it. All right?
You have the last 4 years of Donald Trump being president of the United States you can point to as a record of success. So, yeah, it was a little tough for the guy.
Yeah. Well, that was the one thing. I think it was in the Israel-Iran answer where he's like, Iran is as close to a nuclear weapon, and this is all Donald Trump's fault. Wait a second. Donald Trump was president 4 years ago. Do you have any idea who's been running the country for the last 3.5 years? I'll give you a wild guess. It's the person who's at the top of the ticket for you guys.
Let me tell you why JD Vance was chosen. Number one, I think it was pushed down on him. And number two, I think it was Donald Trump Jr. because these guys all give me Donald Trump Jr. vibes, and they're all the same person. And I would imagine Donald Trump Jr. has a good relationship with him. Because of that, Ivanka and Jared Kushner were in the ear of Trump last time, and I think Donald Trump Jr. was kind of sidelined. And because of that, I think he really pushed for Vance because he has a relationship with Vance and the people around Vance. So he's like, if I can be in that circle, plus I'm connected to my dad, I can have a lot more influence. So I think that's really what's going on. If you look at Donald Trump Jr., he has a very similar personality to JD Vance. All right, so let's go to, let's see here. We'll go to the economy. All right, and then give me like a 15-minute warning when we get closer to 7 o'clock, and we'll have to jump out at that time. All right, so let me cover the economy here. Let me just pull this up. All right, so let's pull up the economy. Now, how is the economy reacting to everything that's going on? And how many days until the election? Can you let me know that as well? How many days left until I think we're 30 days or less than 30 days. Or it could be a little bit over. I said absolutely nothing. 32 days. 32 days until the election. I'm going to check the poly market really quick as well. Let me just pull up all these links so I know what I need to get through. And we'll take a look at this. All right. Say hello in the chat. Give your commentary in the chat. Okay, actually, let's put this in the chat. Do you think JD Vance is a good VP choice? Do you think JD Vance is a good VP choice? Okay, vote in there when you see it. Do you think JD Vance is a good VP choice? We're going to put up a poll now. I want to know what you guys think. You know, you could take what I said, but you don't have to listen to what I say. You can have your own opinion, obviously. It's a free country. But do you think that JD Vance is a good choice? We're almost there. We're going to post it right now. And we should be live. Okay, so vote in the poll. Do you think JD Vance is a good VP choice? Because if you don't know, now you know. All right? All right, let's touch the economy now. Palantir has hit a new 52-week high again. So if you want to get into war stocks, I mean, this is the one to take a look at, right? One thing that you got to know is we're going to war all the time, all right? We're going to war. War is booming all the time, no matter what. Palantir is in the game, and they're doing well, all right? What else do we want to cover here? And I've been calling this, who's been calling this for quite some time. If you've been watching the show, you know that I've been talking about this. 13,000 bank branches have closed since 2012. All right. America lost another 500 plus local branches in the first 2 quarters of 2024. Credit to Charter, who created this. All right. So there was a 2x growth between 1945 and 2012. And then branches peaked at 2012, and then you saw that drop after that. Okay, and I think we're going to see a lot more banks close as a result to this. Now, here's something interesting. Okay, if a CEO, and I'm going to eat my words, and somebody's going to clip this later on, I'm definitely going to be eating my words very quickly. But when somebody starts selling you a course. Now, some courses are fine, okay? Now, some courses you want to. Or they start selling you a newsletter or something like that. You know, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I don't know what to tell you. It might be a time to stop listening to that person, all right? Now, there are good ones, and there are good free courses, good whatever. But that's something just to track, right? Now, take a look at this, all right? Take a look at this. This guy has one of the wildest set of things that he says. He's this 25-year-old CEO, okay? And let's just take a look and you let me know. 25-year-old CEO gets flamed for publicly admitting to cheating on his wife. Okay, now, this seems bad in and of itself, but take a look at how bad it gets, All right. A year ago, I cheated on my wife. When I say I cheated, I'm not saying I had sex with another person. Okay. All right. Interesting. I'm listening. I'm talking about giving into porn. Now, I know 99% of guys are going to laugh at this and go, dude, the P word, I won't say it again just in case YouTube doesn't like it. Dude, the P word isn't cheating. What are you on about? But let me ask you this. What is cheating? Having sex with another woman? What is P word? Imagining you had sex with other girls. Okay? Matthew 5:28 says, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery in his heart. Okay? Now, I understand that take, and porn could be extremely bad, okay, for young men. And it's a big reason why people aren't dating. They aren't being social. They aren't having kids. They aren't going out into the real world. There's some disgusting debauchery that goes on within that world, okay? However, you know, everyone's free to do whatever they want. But look at how he lands his plane. I decided to be better. I wasn't going to lose the love and respect of the woman of my dreams over 3 seconds of pleasure I get from pixels on a screen. So I got my act together. I got addicted to working out instead of the P word. I put all my extra energy into building an online business. Now I'm completely clean from the P word, and our relationship keeps getting better every single day. Moral of the story, maybe the way you're approaching it, if you're sick and sacrifice your value all the time for a little bit of pleasure, give me the chance to serve you with the opportunity that saved my life. YouTube is not recording. Are we good on the stream though? It looks like it paused there. Okay, I'll wait till that comes back. How are you guys seeing in the stream? Is a choppy on your end? We'll wait a second here till that refreshes a bit. Give it a minute. A minute to refresh. Okay, it's moving a little bit. Maybe we stop recording. Yeah, I'm gonna stop recording.
Hold on. Yeah, you can stop.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so just give it a sec. It's lagging. You're freezing. Yeah, I know. Give me 1 minute. Oh, the audio is good. Okay. That's good to know. Give it 1 second. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Bow, bow, down, bow, 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 bow. Okay. So it looks like it's moving a little bit. Are we back? Looks like it's moving. All right. Are we getting a little bit more? Okay. It looks like it's slowly coming back. Let me shake my hand to see if it's getting a little better. Let me know in the chat if it's getting a little better. Looks like we're back. I think we're back. Excellent. All right. So let me know in the chat. I think we're good. It might take a little bit of time on your end, but I see it. It looks better on my end now. Okay. Okay. Are we good? Let me know if we're good and vote in the chat if, okay, we're good. All right. So let me go back one more on this one. Oh, whoa. Something just happened. Hold on.
You're fine.
No. Yeah. Okay. Is that good?
Don't worry. Just keep going.
Okay. Yeah, but I need the mouse. Okay. Now let's go back to this piece again. All right, we had a big disruption there, and it looks like it's doing it again. So hopefully we're good. But maybe this is old. Yeah, it's old. Okay. All right. So I got my act together. Now I'm completely clean, and our relationship keeps getting better every single day. Moral of the story: the key to quitting is to channel all that energy into the right things. You got this. So if you're sick and tired of sacrificing your values all the time for a little bit of pleasure, give me the chance to serve you with the opportunity that saved my life. I'm looking for people that are serious about making an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month online. I'll send you over my free 22-minute course that shows you how. Follow me, Richard Uzi, and message me the word how, and I'll send it to you. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff where it's just like, this guy started off saying, you know, porn is ruining my relationship. And then it moves to him selling you courses and wanting you to join and make $5,000 to $10,000 extra per month. All right. So, you know, people reveal themselves if you give them enough time. Now, with that being said, when a joke takes you 5 minutes to get to, maybe it doesn't work. And it's because of him that we don't have Wi-Fi. All right. It's his fault that the Wi-Fi sucks. No, thank you for fixing it. And it has nothing to do with him. All right, so more on the economy there. So that's what a 25-year-old CEO is saying. That's what he's kind of focusing on there. Let's take a look at this. Bitcoin is back over $62,000. Very, very interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm going to go to CoinMarketCap, see how the rest of the cryptos are doing. Let me go here. So Bitcoin's at 62,000. Ethereum's at 2,400. What other ones have had a big increase in 20? Dogecoin's up 4%. Avalanche up 6%. Shiba Inu up 9%. Chainlink up 4%. Near Protocol up 4%. Sui up 5%. BitTensor up 15%. And Pepe up 9%. So interesting stuff out of the crypto market. Usually Bitcoin leads and then the rest follow. All right. Not financial advice. I also wanted to see the price, Yahoo or Platinum price. Okay. So year to date, 1 year, 5 years. Yeah. It hasn't gone up much. So that's interesting. Let me just go down here. So this is Platinum's price. You'll understand why I'm showing this. So over the last 5 years, it's only gone up 13%. I thought it would have gone up a lot more than that. So that's very interesting. But Costco, we can't find the gold, but Costco is selling $1,089 platinum bars. Okay. After adding gold bars in 2023, Costco is now selling 1 ounce platinum bars for $1,000. These 999.5 pure platinum bars are Swiss made and accredited by the London Bullion Market Association. Over the past year, platinum spot price has risen by about 16%, according to FactSet data. I looked at that. I had a different number, but maybe they're right there. Okay. Interesting stuff. So if you want that stuff from Costco, take a look. I also thought this was interesting for a couple reasons. You guys know I bring up those manufactured homes like this one. Actually, let me cover this one first, just so you guys can see it again. Internet is moving slow today. Hopefully this loads for me here. Let me refresh this one more time. Okay, there we are. So it says Amazon is selling this 3-bedroom house that costs less than a used Ford Focus for only $19,000 and $19,900 or $20,000. Buy this and build generational wealth. Stop paying rent. Okay. Now, I don't know about the build generational wealth thing, but you know, people are spending over 50% of their salary on the rent or mortgage. That's not cool. So this stuff is going to come up more and more. Now, the interesting reason why I bring this up, you guys know I bring this up pretty much every stream or once a week at least. But take a look at this, what this guy is doing with these homes. He's found a loophole.
He can avoid all the STR zoning.
Okay, floating
in
homes,
some cases,
making $200K.
He's on the water. He can avoid all the STR zoning. In some cases, he can avoid the hotel zoning. So he's completely on his own. He'll go and talk to the city and they'll be like, yeah, just pay us the tax or whatever. So he gets to be in these prime waterfront 360 harbor view locations competing with the best hotel in the world, except he's on the water, and it's an amazing concept.
What do one of those things cost to build, ballpark, and then how much they rent for per night?
He's selling the new ones for between $400 and $500. Those things are renting for $500 to $700 a night, as far as I can see. And I mean, booking out.
What do you think that brings in annually?
If he's getting $600 a night, just yesterday he showed me his numbers. He's at 96% occupancy for this year.
Year round.
Yep.
In Baltimore.
Yep, in Baltimore.
Damn.
$210,000. Because he's on the water, he can avoid all the STR zoning.
Okay.
In some cases,
because he's on the water, I don't know about zoning. I don't know about any of that real estate stuff. But what I would imagine is if you could figure out the manufactured home things on the water, you got yourself an interesting business. Okay. I think that's really, really interesting how that could all play out. All right. Speaking of P word, let's take a look here. Let me go here. Ex-P word star accusing Diddy of coercing her into freak-offs recalls seeing Reverend Al Sharpton, Diana Ross at Rap Mogul's party. Okay, the Reverend Al Sharpton there. Okay, very, very interesting stuff emerging from the Diddy stuff. And if you watch the movie Get Him to the Greek, bruh, I'll take scenes that age poorly for $1,000, Alex. And here is Jonah Hill, Russell Brand running in a hotel hallway with Diddy chasing behind them. Now, the intro, yeah, I'll take a look at that later. But there's that video that dropped, and I wonder when the actual movie came out, because maybe they were actually trying to create the movie to like distract from what was going on or whatever. But interesting stuff. Here's a guy's rant on AI, which I agree with in a lot of ways. Let's take a look.
AI that does my taxes. Huh? I don't know where's the AI that balances my stock portfolio? Huh? Where's that AI? Where's the AI that helps unemployed people find a job? I guess what I'm saying here is where's the AI that does the crap that humans don't want to do? Because that's the AI that we were all promised. Why does it seem like every tech company on the planet is hell-bent on making the next big AI that does something like write screenplays, or make music, or write books, or create art? Because newsflash, guys, those are the things we still want to do! Nobody on this planet wants the next Mona Lisa, or Shawshank Redemption, or Bohemian Rhapsody to come from your copyright collage robot. It isn't impressive, it's depressing. Stop developing your AI if all it's gonna do is contribute to a derivative dystopian hellscape, and start developing AI that actually does the crap that humans don't want to do.
Okay, now, I don't like the way he said that. I'm so annoyed by this guy, but I do like what he said. Let's find some more practical ways to use AI. Speaking of practical ways, take a look at these penguins that are made with AI, all right? All right, Meta AI just announced Movie Gen that generates AI videos just from text. Penguins swimming with a beautiful orchestral piece that evokes a sense of wonder. Not Moodang. Okay, this is the hippo there. Skateboarding with wheels spinning and a slamming sound as a skateboard lands. Wow, that is crazy good. All right, right after watching that rant. Fluffy koala surfing. I mean, that's pretty cool. The Meta AI is pretty damn good. Waterfall with rain with music playing in the background. All right. Input text, a cute selfie video of a man and his dog. All right. So very, very interesting stuff that is being built each day. Now, when you try to make this stuff yourself, it doesn't come out this way. That's the thing. All right. It's like kind of like seeing like, you see like a Whopper commercial or like a Big Mac commercial. And then, then you find out they're not actually using cheese. They're using something else. And it's not actually bread. It's like wax or ice cream or something like that to make it like glisten and stuff like that. Then when you get it, when you actually see the Big Mac, you're like, dude, what is this? It's a lot like that. So this is interesting as well. Let me open this one up. So now this is a very practical one. Of all the tech stuff that I showed, this one is really practical, okay? Let me move this over here because we're on Instagram now. It's a little bit different view. Scientists just spotted evidence of negative time, okay? I would love to use negative time to go back and take back the time of all of the times that my wife told a very long story, okay? I would use this very practically. She's like, you remember that one time where and I was like, I would love to use this technology to go back in time and just, I want all that time back. And I love you, Courtney, if you're watching. In a quantum experiment, scientists observed photons spending negative time in a cloud of rubidium atoms. This is likely caused by the fact that photons move faster when exciting these atoms than when the atoms remain in a ground state. These results don't fundamentally alter our perceptions of time broadly, but they do demonstrate that there's much more to learn about the quantum world. Very interesting stuff here, okay? So negative time, all right? Hopefully we can do this at a much larger scale with, you know, maybe going back in time, getting some time back, whatever it is, all right? Maybe the Department of Government Efficiency could give us more negative time. Now, it's very interesting because, you know, they're eating the dogs, right? They are eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Now they're eating the camels, all right? They're eating the camels now, okay? I did not even know that you could eat camel, but according to this, you can eat camel, all right? So let me refresh this. It actually looks kind of good. I would definitely eat camel. This actually looks kind of fire. Like crispy. Okay, so if you want the camel kebab, this is the right place to get it. Roasted camel in a tandoor. All right, so eating dogs, they're eating cats, and now we're eating camels. I didn't know they eat camels. Maybe they do that. Maybe that's a delicacy. Maybe I didn't know that. All right. So interesting thing. I'm flying tomorrow. I'm petrified of flying. And I don't know if this helps it or hurts it. Hurts it, you know. First AI-powered passenger plane without a cockpit can be a reality soon. Embraer just revealed plans for the world's first AI-powered passenger plane, an eerie vision of the future of aviation. Announced at a major aviation event in Orlando, Florida, this plane would fly without a human pilot, relying solely on artificial intelligence to navigate the skies. This radical design features a cabin with 3 zones, including a lounge. But here's the unsettling twist. Passengers can sit in what would traditionally be the cockpit with no pilot to guide them. Even the windows are interactive touchscreens, creating an experience that's as advanced as it is uncanny. While Embraer has committed to building this plane, hasn't committed to building this plane yet, this concept is a bold leap into uncharted territory. It raises haunting questions about the future of air travel and the safety of relying on machines to take us where only pilots once dared to go. All right? Now, I will say this, and I don't know anything about flying, but I would imagine it's easier to fly than drive because, like, once you're in the air, you know, you can navigate your way versus, like, here, like, if you're in a parking lot, there's a baby, there's someone at the shopping cart, you know, different people are doing different things on the road. Now, the air has its own thing, and if you lose connection, God help you. If you don't have Starlink and the internet goes down, you're in the middle of a hurricane, I don't know what to tell you. Now, the one thing that the AI can't do is solve this situation. Now, maybe it can. Maybe I'm wrong. We're in overtime, by the way. Maybe I'm wrong, but take a look at this situation here.
Yes, and
it
please
is you
move
because
from
we
here.
would have spoken already. It is you who's polluting the air here.
Okay,
Please
an
go
elderly
use the
passenger,
washroom.
let me just tell you what's going on, suffering from indigestion, began to continuously pass gas, causing significant discomfort among the other travelers. The unpleasant odor and frequent disturbances made the journey increasingly unbearable for everyone nearby. Recognizing the growing distress, the flight crew swiftly intervened. Approaching the situation with calm professionalism, crew addressed the elderly passenger's condition, offering assistance and remedies to alleviate.
If uncomfortable, so please go use the washroom. She'll take you.
Have some manners. Have some basic etiquettes, okay?
Just play the air freshener.
Excuse me. So they are blaming me. They must have it. They must have
would
it.
AI do
And
here?
they are blaming me.
And please use the washroom. Accept whatever you have done.
Why I should accept what I have not done? What I have not done, I can accept. Why I should accept?
Dude, if you're
But you
farting,
want to
why are we
trouble
making
us
a
like
noise?
this?
Like, oh, it's my bad. I'm
Why
so
are you
embarrassed.
waiting here for? Just move. Use the washroom.
You started all this. Excuse
Yes,
me.
because I
You
cannot
have
say
started.
anything.
And if you see, she must have done it and you are blaming it on me. I don't want to sit here. No, I with them. Please help me. I will go to that side. I will go to that side. Go. Go. No, not at all. Shut up. Don't blame it. Don't blame it.
You cannot talk to me like this.
You have done it and blaming it on me.
Look, a PhD, ChatGPT now is at PhD level. How could a PhD deal with this situation? Okay, there's no way that an AI is going to deal with something like this. All right, the guy is farting. And then he's saying, "Oh, it wasn't even me. You're blaming me. It was you. You're farting too." And then started yelling at someone else. I mean, that's the thing, guys. With AI, I don't know. It's hit or miss with this kind of stuff. Now, this is something very interesting. Scientists say fighting with your sibling can increase social skills and development. Kids who fight with their siblings will fare better in life, according to science. Now, I need to tell that to my brothers because it's very true there. Very true. So fight with your siblings, probably at a younger age. Scientists from the University of Cambridge Center for Family Research said that arguments between brothers and sisters actually increase social skills, vocabulary, and development, as well as nurturing a competitive spirit. Professor Claire Hughes, one of the scientists who conducted the study, said, "When children are arguing," and it's children, by the way, "my research makes the case that they are actually benefiting from the confrontation. Parents who are being worn down by constant bickering among children should take comfort in the fact that their children are learning important social skills. Second siblings do better in our test, and children who have better social understanding go on to be more popular later in life. In fact, the balance of our evidence suggests that children's social understanding may be accelerated by their interaction with siblings in many cases." Okay, so very interesting stuff coming there. All right, we have a couple more things I'm going to cover, and then we're going to head to the event next. Okay, we're not going to cover that one or that one. Let's cover this, and then we have a couple more things we're going to go through. Now, with all the stuff going on, there's a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. There is virtually zero buzz about this, okay? Here's Mike Tyson. Oop. We're just going to watch him warm up. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. And there's no buzz because there's so much stuff going on in the world that this doesn't even hit headlines. And if you guys remember, I walked out on Logan Paul's fight, and I walked out with Jake as well for the fight. Let me see if I think I have a picture here somewhere with Jake. Yeah, here I am with Jake Paul here. And he'll be fighting Mike Tyson. I was here backstage and we walked out together. Here I am back in the room with Logan and Jake. And we had a chance to walk out to this fight together. Okay, so very, very interesting stuff. And they're going to be fighting, but not a lot of attention on this fight. Okay, not a lot of attention at all on the fight. The last thing I want to cover is you guys remember that those people were on strike, right? And the guy that was the ringleader that was kind of putting all this together, we found out that dude had a mansion and a drop-top Bentley, and the port union strike ended immediately. And take a look at here. He has a Bentley, a 5-car garage, outdoor sauna, brick pizza oven, swimming pool, outdoor bar. And the port strike ended immediately after this information dropped. So with that being said, what's that?
Did you see the Satoshi Nakamoto thing?
HBO? Yeah, we covered that yesterday. But if you guys didn't know, it's a Satoshi Nakamoto. They're supposedly going to reveal it. I don't think they know who it is. But I do have a McAfee interview, which he said how you can find it. Basically, there's some way in which you can by the keystrokes of somebody, you can tell, like, he had like a double space between the like ending a sentence and the period, and he spelled words a certain way. And I think that that's like people from Europe or Eastern Europe use that versus people in the Western countries. But anyways, McAfee goes through it in one of the interviews that I was going through. I don't know if they know it. Maybe they do, but I think it's a lot of clickbait. It's probably who they think it is or whatnot, because we're going to see a parabolic run up. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Next week, I will be in LA. As of now, we're still going to stick to 6 p.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific, unless we have a change in schedule. I will let you know the day before, hours before the stream on Instagram. So check the Instagram. And then if I know beforehand, such as like when there's a debate, I say, tomorrow's stream is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern instead of 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll let you know ahead of time, but check the live stream on that. And if you miss it, you could always go back and watch the recorded version of it. Thank you all for joining the stream. Like, comment, and subscribe. Love you all. You guys are the best. You give me the encouragement to do this every day. So thank you very much. Until next time, peace.